How would you like to harvest your own vegetables fresh from the garden practically year-round? Cold frames are how to do it like the pros with very little investment. Making cold frames like this is what I'll be doing this fall to prepare for winter. At the end of this presentation, by the end of this presentation, you will know the basics on how to build a cold frame and prepare the soil in it organically for planting. Building your cold frame is very easy. We finished this one from start with longwood finished in 30 minutes. Materials needed for cold frames are varied. You can use wood, cinder block, cross ties, even hay bales. Anything that will make a square that you can put soil in works wonderfully. The thing you need to remember if you're going to use wood is don't get pressure treated wood. It leaches arsenic into the soil, and that's not something that you want to have growing next to your plants. The covering that you would use for a cold frame can be anything that will let plenty of light in. A lot of people use old windows. You can use fiberglass that you would use for a greenhouse. You can also use plastic tarping, as long as it's the clear plastic tarping, and plexiglass. Anything. You can go from very cheap to very expensive with the plexiglass. One thing, if you're going to use old windows that have come off of old houses, you need to be sure to scrape all the paint off and repaint them, because a lot of old windows will have lead-based paint, and you don't want those lead-based paint particles in your soil. Building your cold frame is very easy. You just would cut your wood out, whatever size you wanted it to fit your window or your plastic. With this one, we've used wood. We have braces in the corners, number one, to set your window on, and number two, to provide a little extra support in the corners. There are screws on, 4 screws on each corner. These are 2x6s. You can use 2x4s and strap them together, 2x6s, 2x8s. Again, it varies in how heavy you want it and how deep you want it. Placement of your frame, experts will tell you that it needs to be on the south, where during the winter you'll get the most sun and the most heat. Jeff Ashton, proprietor of the Hardcore Garden Supply, will tell you that it doesn't matter. Anywhere sunny will work and grow plants. Now that we have our frame together, why don't we put something in it to grow plants? Getting started is easier with cold frames. The only thing that you need to do is just put a little bit of extra soil and a little bit of extra additive into your soil. To begin with, you will want to test your soil. Soil tests will tell you the acidity of the soil and what nutrients that you have in it and what you will need. Soil tests can be gotten from Walmart in the spring. You can also find them at any gardening supply store. You can find a soil test, a simple soil test. You can also take a soil sample from your garden into your county extension office, and they will, for a nominal fee, send it off for you. When you get that back, you'll know what you need to know to add to your soil. Organic gardening enthusiasts will use compost. That's they call it black gold. It's one of the most important additives that we use in our gardens. Compost is made, as you can see from my visual, with air, water, carbon, and nitrogen equals compost. I'd like to add another one, time, because compost doesn't happen overnight. Willie Evans Galloway of organicgardening.com says that air, water, carbon, and nitrogen is the only thing that they need. Let's see. Compost improves the soil and adds nutrients. It adds aeration to the soil, makes your soil better, and adds magnesium and many different nutrients. Other non-chemical soil amendments are sand, improves drainage, loosens the soil, lime, adds calcium, magnesium, and it also lowers the acidity of your soil. Peat moss is another one that will loosen heavy soil. It also retains moisture. But peat moss can add acidity to your soil. So if you already have a high acidity in your soil, you don't want to use peat moss. Anyway, these few things will kind of give you an idea of the different additives that you can use. In conclusion, I hope that this gives you a few ideas about starting your own cold frames and interests you further in research regarding organic gardening as a healthy alternative for your family. Anyone has room for a cold frame in their yard, and with proper management, you will be amazed at the amount of healthy food you can grow for your family, saving money and going green all at the same time. Thank you.